we're live. Should be live. We'll see here in a second. All right, what's going on, D-Bags? Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the dtalks podcast. I'm your host, Darren Rita. Feel free to connect with me at any of the links down below. And if you're new here and you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing because we got a whole lot of that going on around here. Now, before I can get into the show today, have some fun, maybe let off some steam. There's a little bit of that going on around out here. I got a piece of hair. Sorry, there's a piece of hair in my fucking mouth. Look at that, dude. That's a great way to start the podcast off. Lint in my mouth. Great. But before we get into, me blowing off steam and the episode, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about some car insurance these days. It seems as if we're able to do more and more from home. So while you're at home, why aren't you saving money on your car insurance? Your hometown agency, Kenosha Auto Insurance, is specialized in years in simple, hassle-free car insurance using the latest and touch-free technology to help you and your family get the best rates. So, what are you doing? Give them a call today, 262-448-4141. That's 262-448-4141. The website's kenoshains.com. It's on the screen right now. It's also, even better yet, linked down below in the description. One last time, that's 262-448-4141. Give them a call. Tell them Rita dtalks sent you. The worst that could happen is you're going to get the best rates. So, with all that good stuff out of the way, we're here. We're doing the thing. Episode 154. It's me. It's Liam Payne. We're out here. We're going to be having some fun at his expense. Maybe. I don't know. I'll be stressed out lately. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'll be very stressed out the last couple of days. I do want to say thank you to everybody who has been pre-saving my new project. It is in the description below if you have not yet done that. Blue Hour comes out not this week, not the week after, June 24th. Friday, June 24th, it comes out. And I'm excited to share that with you guys. I really am excited. So do pre-save that. You want to help me out, and make sure you don't miss out on release day, and then we can all hang out and vibe. Maybe we'll do something fun. But yeah, so that is in the description as well, so don't forget about that. And obviously you could see in the title today, we're looking at a fellow named Liam Payne. Now, some of you guys are going to be like, who the fuck? No, most of you guys are going to know who it is. I feel like maybe. I don't know. My audience, maybe not. Liam Payne is one of the members of, one of the ex-members of One Direction, former member of One Direction. You may have heard of them. Pretty big boy band.
I was obsessed.
McKenna was obsessed. He recently did an interview with Logan Paul, kind of broke the internet for a day or so, maybe a couple days. People are still talking about it now, where he made some interesting claims. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with One Direction, I'm really not that familiar with them, but I know who Harry Styles is. I know who Harry is because I feel like listen, okay, here's the thing. From someone who has no idea, who is never following them, I saw the guy with the shaggy hair all the time. I was told that guy's name was Harry. That's who I knew. Okay. Then, after they broken up, Zayn, I think, was the first one to come out with music, right? Like, good music.
Yeah, because he split off from the band earlier.
Yeah,
the four of them went on after Zayn left.
Yes. So Zayn splits off. He does his own thing. I hear a couple good songs. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy's good. So I know who Zayn is. Then Harry starts coming out with music, and he's got a crazy fandom, and he's doing well, to say the least, extremely well. What is he? He's like 6th or 7th in the world for
I think he's
listeners.
Like 4 right now.
Oh, number 4 right now on Spotify. Yeah, his album just came out. It was pretty good. Daylight on there is my song. That's the one I like the most out of that project. The rest is it's good. It's very good. I'm not like a big Harry Styles like fan, but I think all of his music is pretty good. So Liam Payne does this interview with Logan Paul, who, has an interesting reputation as it stands. Interesting that they're friends. And I will say, after listening to the interview, it makes sense why they're friends. Like, I can really see that they would get along well. But he came on to this podcast, and he's had some interesting stories to tell. And I was listening to it with McKenna because she was listening to it the other day, and he basically had made some claims basically saying that what One Direction was created for him, with him in mind as to be the front man, and that he was in fact at the helm of 1D, and he was the guy who was supposed to come in first on every verse.
He like led the group.
He led the
like,
group.
yeah.
He was the old. Was he the oldest?
No.
No. But okay. Well, he said he was the most like. He made it seem like he was the most mature, and that he didn't want to like do any partying and anything with these young guys, and that he mentioned an argument he had with one of them where he had to put them up against a wall and tell them like, you don't fuck with me, and a lot of interesting stuff. The biggest, craziest thing of which was that he said in the present tense that he has had the most successful post their band solo career, which again is for me, someone who doesn't really give a fuck, does not really follow them like that, any of them. I was like, I had to struggle to remember that he even had a song that I knew of, which is one that Ed Sheeran wrote for him, and it sounds like an Ed Sheeran song. Strip that down, and it's probably only as popular as it is because obviously he's a big celebrity and being in 1D, so you have that little boost behind it. But Ed Sheeran wrote it. Ed Sheeran's a good writer. It sounds like an Ed Sheeran song that just didn't make an album. And then they got Quavo on the feature. Quavo, who by the way, Liam, I don't know if he like was self-aware enough to know like that he in this story he was explaining sounded really bad when he was explaining how Quavo didn't even recognize him when they were at a club, even though they have a song together. So Quavo has no idea. Like his label just sent him, hey, we need you to do a verse for this song. It's this guy. Here you go. And Quavo he got a paycheck and did the thing. So it's really interesting. So this guy basically stated that he was the biggest, he was the baddest, he was he's the dude, he's the whole reason One Direction exists, and people are not happy. People are not happy. McKenna's not happy. I know my sister's not happy. A lot of the Harry fandom is in their chest a little bit about it, and I guess we're gonna kind of see where everybody's at on that. So you're McKenna, who's behind off screen. You can't see her, but you can hear her. She is a Harry stan. Loves 1D. Liam was actually her favorite member of the band.
I was a Liam girl. I'm embarrassed now.
So what is the big issue? What is the issue? What is the discourse that people are having around this Harry style or this Liam Payne situation?
Well, it's crazy because he obviously, I mean, if he's on the Logan Paul podcast, that should just be enough. Like, Harry's not going to be on the fucking podcast. He's got too much other shit going on.
He did Howard Stern?
Yeah. He's done it.
He did Howard Stern? He was on that fucking gardening magazine?
I know, but
Impulsive?
That's all way bigger than...
Impulsive pretty big?
I don't know.
This episode specifically is pretty big now, too.
Yeah, now it is.
So, I don't know. Look, it's a big podcast. Logan Paul's podcast is pretty successful.
Oh.
I mean, it's not...
Okay, I've never watched it. And
it's not... Yeah.
I never thought I would watch it and not think that Logan was, like, the dumbest in the room.
And you didn't think he was?
No.
Who did you think was Liam?
Yeah, I was so embarrassed. And he was drinking.
He was drinking
a lot.
Yeah, it did seem like he got a little tipsy.
That's kind of what a lot of people are saying too, like sticking up for him. Like he was just drunk. Like he didn't mean that.
But that's what maybe that's what he really means though. Maybe that's his real,
And you didn't even listen to the end when he was like, it was getting wild.
What did he say at the end? What did he say towards the end?
He was trying to like impersonate
Johnny Depp.
Yes.
I did hear about this. Yeah.
And it was like bad. But they just were like, okay, we gotta laugh because this is like awkward. And then he kept going and kept going. And then they were like, okay, this is getting too wild.
So what are what are like the fans of 1D like? What are they saying though? They're just like everyone's against him right now, right?
Like
Everybody's
canceled.
He's
like,
canceled.
There's so many funny TikToks. Like everyone who has a Liam, I had a Liam doll.
Yeah.
Like the action figure, and they'd like go throw it somewhere, or put it in the trash, or like stupid stuff like that.
So so everybody's turned on him pretty quickly. Does he have anything new coming out, or he just did this because he was hanging out with Logan.
I don't know. I don't really follow him.
Because that, to me, if he's gonna go do the impulsive podcast, and say all this wild shit, I'd hope that he'd at least like have something for like, while his name is so high in traffic right now, like to have something to like corral everything towards, like, oh, I've got this song out right now. So it's like, if you're really mad, that's what 6ix9ine would do. That's a huge thing in music, is if you do an interview, you say something fucking crazy, or marketing in general, as long as you have the thing there, that's going to be really good. Whoever sponsored that episode of Impulsive probably did pretty fucking well, because there's a lot more views on that episode than I imagine a majority of the other episodes. But
and then he like kind of shit talked Zayn.
Oh yeah.
So that like
Zayn a good guy though? Is he? There was an issue,
but it's
right?
like no other band member would talk shit about, like, any other interview the other guys do. They just say like how grateful they were to have that experience, like they still keep in touch.
Do you believe them when they say that though, or are they just saying that?
I believe it. Like, they would always post and like tweet stupid shit and like post a bunch. It looked like they were having fun.
So maybe Liam was just bitter the whole time and didn't say anything. Who knows?
And so like a lot of fans were upset about that.
It was hard. So again, someone who doesn't follow them is not like ingrained in, or engulfed in the 1D culture or Harry Styles culture. I mean, I will say I'm exposed to a lot of Harry Styles content now because of McKenna and my sister, but I'm not seeking this stuff out. I'm not really super involved. And for me, whenever this is either funny or toxic to you, you can decide. Whenever my girlfriend is making like she's upset with somebody, or like, this is so fucked up, this person, blah blah blah, I always, like, to make a joke, will be like, well, I don't know, sounds like they're making some good points, like so and so sounds pretty, he might have a point, I kind of agree with what he said, like, just to like be a dick in that moment and like make some, like, have some conversation and have some fun joking around. It was hard to do that as I kept listening to that interview, because he would say something crazy, she would pause it, be like, what the fuck, he really just said, I'd be like, maybe he was, we don't know,
I do.
and then it would keep going, and he just got worse and worse and worse until I eventually stopped listening. So yeah, it was tough. I feel bad. I feel like it's a sad day. We were talking yesterday, do you think they're ever going to get back together and do a reunion tour?
So
and
no.
And I think that they will.
I don't think so, because the other, like, Harry and Niall, and even Zayn.
Who the fuck is Niall?
Niall is big.
What songs
he's
do
the
you have?
blonde one. He's got Slow Hands. That's a big song.
How's it go?
Slow hands. Na, na, na. I don't know the words.
Okay,
Na,
that's-
na, 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 na,
That sounds
na.
familiar. What about Louis? Who's that guy?
I didn't really like Louis, because he was the oldest one.
That's pretty ageist.
Well,
It's fucked up.
like, you had to think, like, I was like a 15-year-old girl. I'm like, oh, Harry's only 5 years older than me. Like, I have the closest chance with him. Like,
He was the youngest?
no, I don't know who was the youngest one.
Okay, so they all have stuff going on, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and Zayn recently just posted a video on Instagram of him singing.
In his, like, trophy room, right? Or his,
he was
like,
singing, in a trophy room, a One Direction song, and Zayn was always the one who, like, hit the high notes, like hit the hard notes that the other guys couldn't do, and then Liam had to take over that once Zayn left. So I think he, like, did it as a dig to be like, I'm still the OG, I'm still the best at this.
That's
like,
hilarious. They each had, like, little roles like that, and
yeah.
that's funny as fuck, dude. I like, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds pretty fun to be in a boy band. It sounds pretty cool. You just gotta do, like, one thing. You just gotta, like, have everyone else kind of, you just kind of pick up the slack. Like, you don't gotta write a full song. You just gotta, like, write a couple lines, if even in that. A lot of the times their songs are being written by, like, professional songwriters. So, like, that's a pretty good gig.
It was fun. It was fun to be a fan.
Yeah, I feel like that would be pretty interesting. So that's crazy, but he said some nice stuff about him, right? Like,
he said
it was a.
What did he say? He's like,
I thought he had a couple redeeming things. He said
he like exposed about Zayn. Are you talking about?
Just in general, it sounded.
Oh,
I know.
Liam?
I know he was kind of negative for like most of the 1D stuff, but he had a lot of good things to say too. I feel
Yeah.
like
Well, he was like bragging then, and
it
it's
was more
funny.
about his involvement, but
Like he's the only one who still like brags about One Direction too, because all the other guys have like solo careers to
he
brag
did
about
sound
now.
very high school quarterback.
Like they talked about One Direction like the whole time.
That's good for the clicks though.
Yeah, but
That's good for clicks. 1D, that's
yeah.
where it's at. That's what I'm saying. If they do a reunion tour, they'll all be back, because the money with them all will be so much more than without it. Imagine like they squash the beef.
I mean, maybe when they're like super old, but like
Oh,
I don't know. I just
I-
think they're too big on their own right now.
mm, that's fair.
And with the beef now, I don't know if they'll want Liam back.
Yeah, that's tough.
And Zayn, I don't know.
He's a guy. He's got a kid now. Like he's a dad, and he's
Yeah.
still. It sounded. Yeah, he sounded kind of.
Like Louis a dad too.
He's
Zayn.
Harry's a stepdad,
No,
basically.
bro.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy, all these guys out here. But yeah, so One Direction, and speaking, kind of pivoting from One Direction, you got some other fucking celebrity drama. Justin Bieber's face.
It's fucked.
It's fucked up. He's got like what is the disease again? I forget the name of it.
It's some type of virus.
Oh, he got like a virus that his half his face is paralyzed,
Yeah.
and he has to like do some like exercise,
Like
and they're gonna
physical
do
therapy,
something, right?
yeah.
I forgot. I think he had some test or something. I saw that
And
he
he's
was.
supposed to be at Summerfest this year, and he had to cancel that.
That's crazy. That's that's like really scary.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
didn't even know that was a thing.
like just out of nowhere. You know, you just lose half your face. Probably was such a weird. Maybe like was like woke up. It was like thought half his face was asleep.
Like having a stroke. That's a symptom of
Is it?
stroke. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah,
The
that's
facial droop.
yeah. It's really it was kind of scary seeing him like that. Hopefully he gets better though. Hopefully he gets better, because that is really sad to see. Aside from that, aside from the drama of 1D and Liam Payne, got some shit going on. You know, I said I was a little stressed out today before we started. Just a lot of ridiculous stuff happening, where I had to shoot this weekend, and you know, locations had to be changed last minute. Well, locations were getting flip flopped back and forth and back and forth and back and forth up until we were about to shoot, and then having to go shoot it in a different
Video.
a music video and a
Shooting, not.
and-
Yeah.
I said a video shoot.
You just said a shoot,
Okay, well that's
so
fair.
I want to specify.
Okay, good. That's yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, a video shoot, music video shoot, and we had to shoot a completely different location. Luckily, we were able to get it worked out. I looked at some of the footage today. It's looking okay. It's looking like it might work, but it was very stressful, very stressful. And on top of all that, I think I mentioned maybe a couple weeks ago. No, I didn't. I'm in the market for a new car right now, and there's a lot that goes into that. That it's been a few months now of me like looking, and I'm at the point now where I've been going to dealerships and driving the cars, and I'm curious if anyone else has had this issue ever. If you've ever upgraded your car from like your first type of car, like a shitty beater car, to a legit like, oh, this is nice, like a brand new or almost brand new. Like, 'cause I'm looking at probably brand new, because right now, when I'm recording this in 2022, the the market is fucked for cars, where everything is like jacked up so high, where it's like it makes more sense to buy brand new than it does to buy, you know, a couple years used or whatever. Even though usually it's the opposite, where it's like you'd rather buy a year or two late, because then that first year it already took most of the depreciation. Not right now. Not right now is fucking like $2,000 or $3,000 to just get fucking more to just get new. So you might as well just get fucking new, get the extra warranty, all the other bells and whistles that you want. So it's like I am very, very stressed with that. But what I was getting to with I'm curious if anyone else has had this. So I'm used to straight up beaters, cars that I'm just happy turn on and continue to drive for a little while. So every car that I'll be test driving, it's infinitely nicer than my car. So how am I supposed to, like, the bar is very low, you know? So it's like every car has all these new things. Like, they all have the lane assist. They all have the heated seat or whatever. I mean, those are all, like, options you get, whatever. But, like, they all have all this nice tech, and they, you know, you push the gas pedal and it actually goes forward. And it's, it's just it's a lot where it's like everything, if they all feel the same, like, in a way, maybe that means I haven't found the one. I don't know. But, yeah, it's just like I think the bar is so low for me because I'm coming from a 2004 car, and we're looking at almost 20 years later. It's like a 2000. My car's a 2003, 2004, and so it's like, of course, it's anything is gonna be good. You know, I want to make sure, but I want to make sure that, like, I don't get a car just because, oh, it's better than my car, and then a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm like, man, I actually really like this car. If I drive a friend's car or something, and I'm like, man, this is way nicer. I should have got this. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but there's a lot of pressure. It's a big purchase, you know. It's a big decision to make. So I'm trying to figure that out. A lot. We've got aside from that, you know, that's pretty stressful. There's been yeah, there's just been some things. I had a, let's just say, help some people out, and a check bounced, and I lost a lot of money, and gotta go to the fucking police now to get this sorted out. So that's what I will be doing this week. Super exciting. And then I know I mentioned last week that we were getting the computer fixed. I actually had to just pay somebody today, so they should be out here either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll see. And it is what it is, man. It is a lot, but it's funny saying it out loud on the show. Maybe this is me trying to make myself seem less crazy, because I was very upset, very angry right before we go live. But as I say it out loud, it's easier to laugh at it, I guess. So I thank you guys for being here and listening, because it helps me to not go crazy. With all that being said, you know, McKenna, I was asking her to write down some stuff that we could maybe talk about today.
Bro, why did you like say that I did this?
Because there was no other good segue. What am I just gonna bring up?
How-
What made you smile today?
Yeah,
Just out of the blue, from
wanted-
pivot from that to that. That's.
I thought you would need some positive thoughts.
I think you're right, but I wanted to introduce how we would get to those from all this
my
negativity.
God, bro.
So I had her while I was trying to fix some stuff with the computer, get the thumbnails, everything else ready right before we go live. I had her write down a couple of things that she thought maybe we could talk about, and she thought of some more positive things than I would have thought of, because of just where my head's been at lately. And she asked the question, what made you smile today? Now I'll answer this first. You guys answer. You can play along at home if you want to. It was not any good. I mean, I'm smiling because of the podcast. I enjoy the podcast. But actually, I mentioned how there was this check bouncing, and, you know, I'm having to go to the police and everything. I had to go to the bank prior to making that conclusion, to make sure that this is what had actually happened, right? So as I'm getting into my car with the invoice from the bank saying the check bounced or whatever, piece of paper in my hand, I open my door, and out of a fucking tree, this fucking spider, probably like this fucking big black fucking spider, lands on the fucking piece of paper I'm fucking holding, tries to crawl into my fucking hand, and I threw the paper. Of course, it goes right into my fucking car. Spider crawls right into my fucking seat, just burrows in. So I spent the next. I had to laugh, because if I didn't, I would have put my head through the window. So
Bro,
that made me smile.
I think you're Spider-Man.
That
Or
really
like
made me.
some insect man.
Why?
Because you attract bugs.
Maybe I'm just
Like
disgusting.
with the wasps.
Okay, yeah, I do have an issue. I'm very afraid. I don't know if I've talked about this before on the podcast. I'm very afraid of bees and wasps. I'm not like afraid of them, like that they could like if it was like a life or death scenario, like I think I'd be okay. But it's like, if they just I don't like not knowing when they're gonna sting. The fact that they may or may not sting me. I don't know. So they just buzz around. They got the fucking scary buzz, and you're fucking laying out in the tent. You're playing whatever outside, if you're cleaning your car, or if you're fucking driving your car, they fly in. I've almost crashed.
That has never happened to me.
I've almost crashed multiple times, 4 or 5 times, because a fucking wasp has flown into my car.
Then, like, I'll lay out. We have a pool.
You don't know when they're gonna sting. You know, it's like I'm just very afraid that they're gonna. I don't even though it's like puking. Like puking is not bad, right? Puking, it sucks, burns your throat, but after you puke, that's a trick they do in the military. Like if you're in combat, if you're in pain, they teach you to make yourself throw up because you're like whole body's like numb for like 10 minutes after. So it's like after you puke, you feel better, you know. But it's the not knowing if you're gonna puke, when you're gonna puke, like when it's gonna hit. I get so anxious when I'm like in bed if I'm sick, like if I'm puking, because I'm nervous I'm gonna puke on the ground or in bed, or I'm not gonna make it to the toilet. Like I'm more afraid of me having to puke and not being ready for it than puking itself. And it's the same thing with the bees, I think. But you were gonna say,
like, so we have a pool, and the other day I was like I was swimming in the pool.
mm-hmm.
No, nothing bothers me. Nothing is even like by me. I'm just relaxing. Darren comes out a couple hours later, and a bunch of wasps are around, and then one tries going in his pants. Like
one did. I had to bitch slap it like 3 times.
You actually slapped it.
Yeah.
But like I swear every time
it literally landed on my thigh, tried to fly up my fucking pants. And the thing is, and it's hilarious because when I would first start like coming over to your house to like lay out, right? We would go and she'd be like, "That's not that bad. They're not. Stop freaking out. They won't follow you if you don't freak out. They won't follow you if you don't freak out." And I tried her way. I've tried everyone else. It's just, you know, these bees. You just don't swat at them. Don't swat at them. I try that, right? You know what happens? They get closer. They get comfortable. They start landing on my back. And I haven't been stung in a while, but I think it's because I'm proactive in getting them the fuck away from me.
Oh my god.
Because the only time I let my guard down, I was laying on this fucking floaty in a pool, and a fucking wasp stung me right on my stomach. Because I wasn't fucking paying attention. I wasn't ready. That was the last time I got stung. It was like 4 years ago.
4 years?
Yeah.
I just got stung like a couple weeks ago.
How was it?
It hurt. I grabbed it. It stung my finger.
Yeah, see, that shit's...
I didn't know.
That's unacceptable.
But it hurts for like a minute and then it's fine.
Yeah, but it's there like the next day and shit. You know, it's like a little sore thing. And for me, I hate like, if my fingernails separate, I really hate that. You know, like...
Just a little annoying, like...
Just like little, or like you get little... Because I'm like opening a lot of cardboard boxes and shit. It's like my hands get dry and they get cut up. And I really fucking hate like having little cuts on your hands because they just like sting every time you do something. It's like something with basketball where I would always get dry skin, especially on my hands because of how much I'd be shooting. And like my middle finger right here would always like, there'd be a piece of skin that would like get ripped and then separate, and I'd have to like tape it for weeks or else, because if I didn't, it would just re-tear the first shot I take, and so it was never fun. But yeah, so I think it's just more so me.
You're Spider-Man.
I guess, yeah. I'm maybe if Spider-Man and Ant-Man, not Ant-Man, the Wasp.
You're the male Wasp.
Nice.
Or maybe you're the villain.
That guy? Yeah. His name was Darren.
Shit.
In the first Ant-Man movie.
Shit.
He was very bald though. So no. But yeah, his name was Darren.
Crazy.
Yeah, his name was Darren. Yeah.
Whoa.
I think he's the only Darren in the MCU, so that's interesting. Yeah. That's what we're at. That's where we're at. I'm afraid of bees. I don't want to I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been very stressed out, I've been going through a lot of shit, so I don't want to take up a whole lot of your time this week. I do have a guest coming on next week, Kevin Gary. I think that's how I pronounce his last name. I will find out next week. I'm really excited to chat with him. He's from Lake Geneva, and he's creative and in a lot of ways. So I'm excited to sit down with him and get to know him a little bit better. And you guys should look forward to that next week. We got some fun stuff coming up the week after. We're going to be doing the 3-year anniversary of the show. If there's anything you want to see, let me know. I've been kind of thinking about doing a couple different hopefully fun things. Yeah, but that's it. So I want to say again, thank you to everybody who tuned in live. Thank you to those who watch days after, listen over on Spotify, all that good stuff. Before I finish wrapping up, Simple Man Fishing says, "What is the song for the video or the release date?" I cannot say the name of the song, but it is off the new project, and the project release date is June 24th. The pre-save link is down below. You guys can pre-save it if you'd like. Other than that, I want to say thank you to our patrons. Shout out to them for supporting the channel. Appreciate you guys. You guys are interested in becoming a patron and supporting the channel, as well as getting access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content, including extra podcasts, behind the scenes for music videos, as well as extra footage of hooping vlogs. We throw all the extra games up on there, all the extra wrestling matches when we go to those, and an entire series where I break down how I make every single one of my songs. You just go to patreon.com/DarrenRita, and you can help support the channel for as little as $1. Now, also want to say a quick shout out to Kenosha Auto Insurance, and this has been the 154th episode of the Dtalks podcast. I will see you guys next week. Peace.